This is Module 5, Lesson 5. And we're going to start off by counting the equivalent fractions similar to where we left off yesterday. So we'll start with 0/4 and go to 4/4. 0/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. What is the value of 4/4? So remember, again, if we need a little illustration, you've got something divided into 4 parts. And you shade all 4 of those 4 parts where you have shaded the whole. So the value of 4/4 is equal to 1. Looking at the next one, we're going to count by fourths again. And this time, instead of saying 0/4, we'll say 0. And we'll replace 4/4 with the whole number 1. So starting with 0, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 1. Remember that 1 could also the equivalent fraction 4/4. Let's look at this next one. Now we're going to count by halves, and we're going to count to 4 halves. So we'll start with 0 halves, 1 half, 2 halves, 3 halves, and 4 halves. How many halves are equal to 1? Well, that's going to be 2 halves, or 2/2, or numerator 2 over denominator 2. 4 halves, just like we had 6/3 yesterday was equal to 2, 4 halves is also equal to 2. All right, let's go on. We're going to count by halves again, and this time putting whole numbers in when we can. So we'll start with 0, 1 half, 1, 3 halves, 2, and if we were going to go on, 5 halves would be the next one. All right. So we're going to say the fraction, 4/5, and draw a tape diagram to represent the fraction. So you should be doing this on your own paper. If you need to pause this to do it, then do that. So we're going to draw a tape diagram to represent the fraction. And because 5 is our denominator, we're going to divide it into 5 parts as equally as we can. And then we're going to fill in. So we're going to shade 4/5 of that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So each one of those is 1/5. So 4/5 is 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. Or 4 times 1/5. Alrighty. Let's look at the next one. 5/8. We're going to do the same thing. Draw a tape diagram, fill it in, write 5/8 as a multiplication of a whole number and as a sum of unit fractions. All right. So we're going to divide it into 8 parts this time because 8 is our denominator. That tells us how many parts we're dividing it into. So I try to go half and then half again. You can do it however you want. So we're going to fill in 5 of those as we go here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just like we did before, each of those is 1/8. So we'll fill in our repeated addition. So 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. I think I did that 5 times is equal to 5/8. Or we could say 5 times 1/8. Okay, we're going to look at this. All you're going to do here is name the fraction of this diagram that is shaded. And as you looked at that, you should have written down 1/2 of that. So now it gets a little bit trickier. So if 1/2 was shaded originally, now they've taken 1/2 and divided that 1/2 into 3 parts. So we need to think, well, how much of each of those, how much is each of those worth? So what we would do is just continue. We would finish that for the whole. And now we can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. So each of those parts is worth 1/6. So we have 1/6, 1/6. So 1/2 is the same as 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, which is what? That is 3/6. All right, let's look at the next one. Continues to do this. So look at the fraction. What's the fraction, the name of the fraction of the diagram that's shaded? It's divided into 3 parts, and one of those 3 parts is shaded. So it's 1/3. Now we're going to divide that 1/3 into thirds. So if I were going to continue that through the rest of this, then the whole thing would be divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. So each one of these areas is 1/9. So 1/9 is equal to, 1/3 is equal to 1/9 plus 1/9 plus 1/9, which is equal to 3/9. And that is the end of Module 5, Lesson 5 for today.